Okay, good morning, everybody. The crowds are here. Time to start. I'm Bill Canada, Custer County Chairman of the Board of Commissioners. It's Wednesday, January the 14th, 2026, 9 o'clock. So if you would silence your phones if you've got them, just in case. And please stand for the pledge. Meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me for the invocation. Lord, we just come before you in a world of uncertainty, and we just pray for your wisdom and your guidance as we make the decisions for our county, for our citizens. We just pray, Lord, that you would bless this county and bless its people. In your name, amen.
And thank you for this. Okay, roll call, Kelly.
Commissioner Canada,
Here.
Commissioner F,
Present.
Commissioner Vogelsong,
Here.
County Attorney Dan Slater,
Present.
BOCC Admin Caitlin Womack, and Clerk to the Board Kelly Camper present.
Yeah, audience introduction. And we can introduce Bob as he walks in.
Bob Smith, Human Resources Risk Management. Brian Hillier, Acting.
Thank you. Back to room, Vince.
That's Custer County Road Bridge.
Debbie,
Deb Adams, Custer County Tourism.
got a voice today, Jim?
I hope so.
Did last time.
Skilders.
Online.
Rob Clyde and Stacy Rob.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all. Any amendments?
None for me.
Not yet. We got the insurance here just in time. You got something?
Nope.
Okay, and Commissioner Adam, Paul, you got any?
Minutes.
Excuse me, minutes. I'm sorry. I looked below my mark.
There you go.
We got minutes and Kelly got caught up. We've got 4 of them, December 15th, special meeting, and the December 18th, December 31st, and the January 7th meetings. Doing fine.
Have any changes?
Good.
Yeah, we're good.
I'll make a motion to approve the December 15th special meeting minutes, December 18th special meeting minutes, and December 31st meeting minutes, and January 7th meeting minutes.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Lucas?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
And now Commissioner items, Paul.
I've had a very good meeting with the fair board. Seems like we're ahead of the game on the fair this year. Things looking really good there. And than that, just attending regular meetings. All that.
Thanks. Lucas.
So we've had some got some funding, what could be funding challenges in the future. For the Colorado Department of Early Childhood, which affects Stacey Terrell. That's the CCDF, the Child Care and Development Fund supports the Colorado Child Care Assistance Program. So there's a federal judge that did a 2-week stay, so we'll see what happens. It's kind of by week. We'll just have to
They give
see
it
what
reading by
happens.
days.
The judge stated because thinks it's not right, but basically what it is going after any fraud. So the federal administration sent a letter out to every state. It was the same form letter, just saying, get this information to us. Whether Colorado got them the information or not, I have no idea. I would assume they're working on it, but I don't know. It's out of my control. But we'll see what happens, and we'll see what comes about all of this.
Okay.
TANF, I'll try to get to so that I'm not using acronyms. So TANF is Needy Families State Plan, or Colorado's Temporary Assistance for Needy Families. In Colorado, TANF is also known as Colorado Works. Colorado Works supports thousands of families across Colorado with a basic cash assistance component alone supporting over 50,000 children. Also, a similar notification for social services block grant, which are used to provide a broad range of services for vulnerable Coloradans, including our child welfare services. So, those three programs are, looks like they could be cut funding from a federal level to the state, depending on what the state does. So we're kind of just waiting to see what happens there. Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead. Let Stacy talk.
Stacy, go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted to correct, the letters that were sent out were not sent out to every state. It was only sent out to 5 states. It was sent out to Colorado, sent out to Illinois, sent out to California, sent out to Minnesota, and sent out to New York. So the federal government did at one point say they were going to send it out and freeze every state, but in the end, they only sent the letters out to those 5 respective states.
Awesome. Stacy, thanks for the correction.
Yeah, thank you, Stacy.
And then, so we got the Airport Board Public Officials Liability Insurance Renewal that we renewed last week, Wednesday, for $7,900. Bob went back in, and talked to Gallagher about that. And they were taking our total budget to renew our policy amount on, not the airport budget. So
That's
it's
why it went the way it did.
that's why it was 79. That's
That
why
makes
it's been
sense.
as high as it's been for who knows how
That's
long.
crazy.
But now it's just below $1,700
From what?
from 7,900. So pretty good savings there. So thank you, Bob, for going after that.
$6,000 to buy half a tanker.
Buildings and grounds, brick got finished up. We're reworking the ductwork between the jury room and the main hall to hopefully pump more cooling and more heat into the main hallway and less into the jury room because it's either ice cold during the summer or it's hot. So during the winter, so hopefully that'll help even out the temperature there. Still removing the old split unit material on the roofs to prepare for the new roof that will go out to bid for this spring.
Is that hold on, is that the same cooler that cools it in the summertime in the whole courtroom, you know?
No, not the corporate. Those are standalone units. Those aren't split units. So it's just the cooling lines for
Just that two
the upper
Part.
courthouse part,
office area,
office area, and then I think there's one in the hallway, so.
because it's awful noisy. If we could get them, the other one could be damp and it's good because had to shut them off.
Yeah.
Heating us up winter time. All right.
Getting bids for generators at Wetmore and Lang Hall. We also need to bid out what the courthouse would cost. Family Resource Center grant, working session. That's a $750,000 grant from the Colorado Opiate Abatement Council. I'll be submitting that today. I had the Workforce Housing Committee. We've got the $50,000 grant from DOLA there for our planning to basically to make it a shovel-ready project. So we're working with Keith Meyer there, with AmeriWest. He's a nonprofit developer. So he's gonna get us through all the shovel ready stuff that we have to make that.
We don't have a foundation.
No, it's the environmental study, it's the all the surveying that needs to be happen. So get all that done out of the way. I went to both of the CWPP community meetings, both the Zoom meeting, which I left early. Not much for community members there, citizens. It was mainly just the team that was working on that draft. And then I went to the in-person meeting at Lang Hall. There was probably 30 of us there total at one point in time. So around 25 citizens. So good presentation both times. It's always better in person, but reviewed AP with Kristen Kertner, and started talking about going through all of our ACE accounts and making sure those all get straightened up and see who's still on them for signers. And then we'll probably look at NAPA and anybody else that we have an account with.
You mentioned sometime ago, that we've got it straightened up quite a bit, changing the timing with her, with how she's time wise, cost wise. With her help.
Oh,
Lisa,
with Lisa, so that's not Lisa, that's Kristen.
I know it is, but that just reminded me of the.
Oh, so I've asked Vernon to reach out because we need to renew our contract. Our
Right.
contract was just to the end of the year, so. He's gonna get together with Lisa, and then I have some things that we need to. We need to clean up the old. Health fair account and some of the fair accounts because they're using our EIN numbers, but they're not under Virginia's jurisdiction. And
Oh, yeah.
the IRS is kind of going, what's going on here? Either we got to bring them under Virginia and our finance department, or they need to be under a
Separate
separate.
entity.
So I'm gonna have Lisa work on that project and go through that, and clean that up.
So it's possible for a county to have a couple of. EIN.
No,
Wouldn't have
well,
to be
we
a
wanna
nonprofit,
we wanna
it's
stay one, so
Yeah.
they may have to. They may have to form a 501(c), the fair board, or,
Or something.
but then
Then
are we over them, so. Handing that over to the people that know, to the people who can look through it.
People should,
Thanks.
Central Front Range Transportation Planning Regions, so we'll go out for bid this spring on the sidewalk project in front of the courthouse. And then Highway 69 from Hillside to Cotopaxi will be
Why?
getting redone this spring. They go for construction this spring. They're doing some safety improvements, new guardrails, maybe some widening of some shoulders in certain areas, and I think a total redo like 96 got names.
I think you mentioned this before, but that sidewalk project was a pretty minute to do it. And then things have changed. Is the money still?
Funding is still there, still talking to.
And there's enough given the cost difference.
We got $250,000 originally. We've spent about. Just over $50,000, and then I got another 50,000 because there was some money left over that nobody grabbed, so I applied for that 50,000. To allow us to get basically somebody to do all the paperwork. Put it out for bid, put all the bid packages together, do all that work, so that right now is 10,000, and I'll be sending that contract to Dan review, and I'll have that probably on next week's agenda.
So that's a separate.
Yeah, so there's a 250 and there's a 50, and we've got about 180 some thousand left in the original 250. Had a tourism board meeting on Tuesday, and then talked with Lisa Rowe from the court systems. They had reached out. We had some conversations about them using our break room for attorney clients. Kind of went through some of her kind of wants and maybe needs that the court system could have in place to get through the next 10 years. Maybe she thought, a handicapped, accessible bathroom, on the main level, maybe a attorney client room. So I don't know, we may just have to do some planning down there and see what we can do. A generator, especially if Black Hills is thinking about doing what Excel did on the Front Range.
Probably have to have two generators.
We may have to see how we're gonna split it out and see what we do.
Right.
Maybe we keep them going, and
Cause
I don't know,
you're on two different meters, I guess.
but
right,
so there's that. Yeah, so.
Good, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, from my point of view, the airport, we had an airport board meeting, with Paul, yeah, he even got to be there, that was good, thanks for coming. Good news there is the state, still appreciates what we've done and supports it. They've got $16 million this year, both federal and for state and federal use on airports, our 9.5 for the state stuff. And so they asked us to update our capital investment plan. And we might rearrange things to include lighting before doing some other things on the runway. The runway's in great shape, and then what they had decided to do was to use the small grant you get, 10 grand every year that's available. And we match that to some point, a couple of $1,000, whatever it is. And they'll get volunteers and do the crack seal themselves this time on the runway. So that, and because it was so successful on what we did on the track, taxiway, then and with the expertise they gained, and it can be done a little quicker, a little more experience. So that'd be great, because that'll extend the life of that runway another 10 years, I think.
Mhm.
And then also on the airport, what else did I have? That was mainly it. Also, the grant we have for the under courts for to get our courthouse design and costing out for the new one, to get it on the ballot this year. I forward both of that to you and Vernon. There's quite a process in order to reclaim we spend the money, do the work and get reimbursed, and they've got a good way of tracking it, so there's no mistakes on where it went, how it went, and who got it. So you got those. I think that's it for now. It's good enough. Thanks. Yeah, everything else here too. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention, to just clear up, there's a bunch of rumors going around, but the undersheriff is on a medical retirement, contrary to what everybody was thinking. I don't know where they got their information, but bottom line is she'll be on medical leave through the end of February, right, Bob?
As it stands now.
Yeah, and however it plays out, and then the sheriff will in the meantime appoint an undersheriff interim until he gets to the point where he can advertise, get a new undersheriff and fill that billet.
Right.
So that's it.
Okay.
All right, given that, attorney item, how about it, Dan?
I don't have anything from here.
Thanks. Caitlin?
I'm just waiting on one report for CTF, and then I can start with 26
Oh, okay.
stuff, so.
All right, that gets us to the point of unfinished business, which is back in the back of the room there. Come on up. Health insurance.
Renewance.
We need another. Sure. Yeah, this is. Gentlemen, this one.
Morning.
You all know.
Sorry,
Good to see you again. You're back and you're not as short.
Be a normal person.
sorry I was a minute late. The gas light turned on about 10 minutes out of town, and
You grit at the department came in.
I said, I'm gonna just put a few gallons in so I don't get stuck halfway.
There you go.
Okay, so as we started bringing all the pieces together, we began to work through the reinsurance in this specific case, which is captive resources. Began to work through the signing of all that agreements and everything. Became clear at that time that captive resources is wholly, as far as banking and operations, outside of the United States, okay, non-domestic. And so then I began to understand that it was thought, at least by me, that there was more city and county governments part of them, which there isn't any. There's some school districts. And so we began to dig into that. Part of the agreement with captive resources is that we provide it's called collateral and capital as part of the agreement. Like Brian can talk about how that works, for a total of 42,488, and that would be a one-time startup we pay to them. And because their banking is outside of the United States, and their preferred way to receive payments through an ACH. Okay, but our bank said, we won't do an ACH to outside the United States. We can do a check. That's okay. But of course, because it's outside the United States, opens us through the banking industry to, it's not impossible. It happens all the time. But so, Brian and myself and Dan was involved. And I think a couple of commissioners had and captive resources roundtable about it all, kind of dug into it. And so it's okay, let's talk with Brian. Let's see what other options are, because there was a concern voiced that, hey, we're spending money outside the United States, and there's It's just, can't we do this where everything is inside the United States?
Or worse than that, you can't do an automatic deposit.
Right, and because the ACH is not possible,
Right.
and it creates some hurdles, and I know Dan had some additional concerns that, I just remember there wasn't, apologize, Dan, I can't verbalize what you had, so apologies for that. So I asked Brian, hey, we still have time, we just need to do something today as far as giving directions. So Brian went out and contacted the market, if you will. And what you have in front of you is a spreadsheet that talks about Berkeley, and Pareto Health, and then there's another one, AccuRisk Solutions, which is financially outstanding, but it's not there to show what we did.
Financially, I have to take it because of cost.
Does it cost?
Correct.
Cost is like, yeah, we're not gonna spend 1,800,000 or 18,000 or whatever. So, Berkeley, I'll go through this spreadsheet a little bit, and then Brian, where I stray, tell me, and then I'm gonna ask him to deep into some of the stuff that.
Okay.
Okay,
Bob, can I just make 2 comments?
yes, please.
Yeah, so the first comment is insurance is extremely complicated when you get behind the scenes. Even those known companies that you would look at, maybe a Blue Cross or a United or a Cigna or an Aetna, there are layers upon layers upon layers of seeding off the risk. So I'll just give you an example. I'm not going to say which insurance company, just giving an example. Let's say Blue Cross, just so I can say something, but and this isn't tailored to Blue Cross. When Blue Cross sells a policy, they'll sell it to you, even on an individual basis. They'll sell you a policy, but then behind the scenes, they'll say, okay, we're going to take on the first $250,000, and then we'll cede it off to a reinsurance carrier. That reinsurance carrier will say, okay, well, we'll take the risk above 250,000. That carrier then will go buy additional reinsurance, an excess carrier that they'll say, hey, we'll take risk from 250 to 1,000,000, and they'll go to like a Lloyd's of London. And then a Lloyd's of London then disperses it and says, okay, well, what are we going to do? And so you have these layers behind the scenes. And what happened, just to kind of bring it to the forefront, is it's not necessarily that Captive Resources is doing something different than anybody else. What brought it to the forefront is that need for that capital to say, look, if you want to be part of our captive, just like with CTSI, you're part of a trust, and behind the scenes, they're doing things, and they have a reinsurance who has a reinsurance who has a reinsurance, but you don't see it.
Right.
And what happened was you saw it because of where it's domiciled and where the banking was.
So, and
So
it caused us to have to invest instead of just putting a policy in.
correct. So that's number one, is just more saying it was brought to the forefront because the shield has been opened of here's how it is.
Sure.
And then from our roundtable, just to echo what Bob said, was from our roundtable, we really went back to work on 4 options. Option 1 was, let's just go with Captive Resources and we'll figure out the financial of how to make the payment. So option 1 is leave it where it's at. That's this column. Option 2 was Captive Resources does use a domestic reinsurance carrier called HCC. So it's not like it's all offshores. It just was brought to the light of the curtain was open of everything that's happening. Just like Blue Cross doesn't open the curtain, United doesn't. You just got to see behind the curtain. But it does use HCC. So option 2 was, do we go direct with HCC, forget the captive scenario? And they came back and said, we won't accept the group on a standalone basis.
Okay.
And you'll be able to see from the bids, when you pool 100 employers, 1,000 employers, and it's not looking at one group, that's where that competitive pricing
Sure.
is they're able to say, we're not basing everything on one group, we're basing it off of a pool, and the pool is established. So it's not like it's 60 new groups and we're trying to figure it out. There's history that they can say, hey, we slowly add groups in, but we're able to price the risk of all.
So
So
that eliminates that column.
column 2 is out. It's not even on here. It's out because they wouldn't quote.
Okay.
Option 3 was other captives. So we are showing you 2 captives, and there's a reason why we're showing you 2 other captives, is there's some pros and cons to each one that we'll walk through, that Bob's going to walk through. But that was option 3, was, are there other captives? Now, we went to about 8 captives. We're showing you the best 2, and the best 2 from not only pricing, but how they're set up based off of, we don't need another scenario of captive resources. If that's the case, we'll just go with them because they're the lowest. Option 1, they're already the best. That's why we went with them, was they were the best price wise. Option 4.
That's 813,000.
So the captive resources is 813. The other 2 captives are 856 and 869.
Right.
Now, option 4 was similar to the HCC. Let's just get a standalone policy. Let's go to the carriers. Now, we went to 20 carriers and we're showing you the one best. And the one best came in at $1 million. So you're starting to see the benefit of the captive. I don't think the question is, do we go with the captive or do we do something else? The question is, which captive do we look at that's the best? So Bob, go ahead and then I'll update a few things as you go through this.
So I want to catch this meeting was a workshop that was held on
Yes.
Monday. So it wasn't just that we met, it was in a workshop and it was out there to the general public. So
Thank you.
Yeah,
just wanted,
it was a legitimate workshop, no decisions were made, so
Correct.
you're back here to give us some choices.
Correct.
Okay, so the 2 captives that came back are Berkeley and Petro that we talked about. I was gonna walk through this. For Berkeley, all of their banking is domestic. They have some operations outside the United States, but all the banking is domestic. They have one other that they deal with, it's a city and county government. They have one person.
They only have one city and county government.
Right, that they insure.
Yeah, so
What
captive.
is it in what state? Just
Uh,
out of curiosity.
I didn't, they wouldn't give me the name or, yeah, so the way that these work, so like captive resources, they have different cells. So
Yeah.
captive resources, and then they have cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, cell
Okay.
4. The one that they were putting us in was foundation, which should be a familiar name because you've heard it before. In the foundation, the Berkeley has lots of cells. And so in the one cell, when you look at the pooling, some look at that as a positive of, hey, you're pooling us with car dealerships and farmers and this and that. It's not just municipality. Maybe that some view that as a stability of, hey, diversity rather than just one. Maybe not. Depends how. But in that cell, they have one. In Pareto has lots of cells. We're only looking at the cell that you would go into. So think of it as like a cell will have 100 employers. Once they get to the 100, then they start a new cell and they create a new captive, and then they start a new cell. So Berkeley has many cells, captive resource has many cells. We're just looking in the cell that you'd be going into. But Pareto does have 17.
Do they have many governments?
The 17 is cities, counties, municipalities. So I asked them to remove school districts just so that we didn't get into is it a public school? Is it a private school? This is municipalities.
What are the other ones? Like car dealerships?
Yeah, it could be anything. Car dealerships.
You
It
can
could
see
be,
that as good and bad. We've got more people participating, but they may be riskier and cause our costs to go up.
yeah, I will say from being 100% open, usually hospitals and municipalities are higher risk.
I believe hospitals are.
Yes.
And
So
municipalities depend on what they are again.
usually people are working there for the benefits, longevity. It's not
Yes.
you don't, other industries, you don't show up to work, you don't work anymore. Yeah, then some of the others, it's a little bit more, we'll work with you. Let's figure this out. There's a leave of absence, good sick time.
Okay.
Okay, any more questions on that? Okay, so,
I don't, you guys.
no, one thing that I think I wanted to point out, which we really haven't talked much about, is, with captive resources, we are in what's called an 80-11 contract. So the contract is 8 months long with a 3-month tail coverage. Meaning after 8 months, then because of how we're coming in, then we would potentially could see an increase because that's when our policy renews, right? So with Berkeley, it's a 12-15 contract, means it's a 12-month contract. They would retro us back to January. And then we would be locked in for a calendar year, which falls into our budget cycle of January to December. So if we had an increase or a decrease, it would cycle with our budget's time period, okay? So we wouldn't have to try and do a budget amendment or try and figure out how we're going to account for it or whatever else. And then the 15 means just a 3-month tail cover, similar to what we had with CTSI. And there's no way we would ever recommend doing something without the 3-month tail coverage.
So the 8-11 is a 4-month tail coverage, not an 11-month tail coverage.
So it'd be 9, 10, 11. So it's 8 months.
And
then
3 months tail coverage. And then Pedro is a 9-12, meaning the contract is 9 months. And so January to what, September?
Yeah, so October 1st.
October
Yeah, so
1st.
everybody within the captive, the reinsurance, not deduct. So by the way, just to be clear, this is not affecting anything with the employees.
Correct.
Their ID card is good to go.
Nothing changes. This is all behind
The
this.
deductibles are good to go. The network is the same. The prescription coverage is
Benefits
the
are the
same.
same as they
Correct.
are.
This is the
Right.
behind the scenes of no different than, you're funding something and putting, how expenses come up, like,
Okay,
so one is, so the captive resources renews 9/1. Everybody in the captive gets the new policy 9/1 behind the scenes of, okay, clear out the old year, start the new year. Where are you trending? Because
so
as
you're
you're
doing it in this September instead of December.
correct, so captive resources is 9/1, Pareto's 10/1, Berkeley is 1/1. So to be open, the positive for Berkeley, when you say what's the pros and cons? The positive for Berkeley is it gives us a full calendar year that we don't have to worry about a couple months of a rate change that we'd be looking at. Now, the negative of Berkeley, which because we have to make decisions, we can retro this back as long as we make decisions by the 15th, which is tomorrow, which is your last meeting. I want to be crystal clear. Berkeley, the money that you send in, your capital, really they do collateral. The collateral is held in a US bank. So you can make the money, you can make the payment and all is well. Berkeley, it does have portions of the captive domiciled offshore.
It's just a bank.
So this is why we're showing you 3 options. Captive resources offshore. Berkeley is banking onshore, but they do have some filings offshore. Pareto is 100% onshore. So when you say, why are you not just showing us one? First off, the pricing is good, is very, very similar. But that's why we're showing the 3 options is everything offshore, domiciled offshore, but banking onshore, everything onshore. That's why you're getting 3 options. So Berkeley has a negative, I shouldn't say negative, but maybe a concern just because it's come up of, we don't want to go another 15 days and then say, oh, we think we have an issue with this one too. That's why I'm being very clear is we can't backdate once we make a decision, we can't backdate things back to the 1st after the 15th of the month. We kind of have that 15-day grace. We're at that time. So we go with Berkeley, we got to be okay with the way that it's set up.
I still have a question about how we're actually doing this, because my main concern with the original one wasn't, it was partially the offshore accounts, but really my issue was that the way it's set up is we're buying stock in a corporation. The Colorado Constitution prohibits counties from buying stocks in corporations. So is that solved with Pareto or Berkeley? Are we still buying stock?
Great question. So if you go down to the bottom, which I don't think you have a copy, but the commissioners have a copy in front of them. So captive resources, if you go down to the bottom that says rates do not include the capital and collateral. So the capital is getting you, basically you have a vote to a membership, similar to like CTSI, where it'd be like, okay, like we have a voting right and we have this. So the capital, think of that as an investment. The collateral is being held so that the way that it works is your funding claims up to 30,000. Then there's a captive layer. If the captive layer runs good, that's where we can get money back. If the captive layer runs hot, that's where they dip into that collateral. No different than we've seen like a CBT or CTSI that in the past they've had to do a cash call and say, hey, we need a cash call. The difference is that they require that you put it in an account so that they don't have to say like, well, come up with the money later and then someone doesn't have.
So what is it?
Well, that's the 20 plus the 22.
42,000.
42,000 collateral.
But we're not doing.
20
We're not
capital.
doing
I
that.
know, that's why
Yeah.
I was asking,
We're not doing
Yes,
that.
one's capital, one's collateral.
but I'm looking at Berkeley.
So Berkeley,
Berkeley says.
Does
collateral,
not-
No capital
yeah.
required.
yeah, Berkeley does not do capital. So basically, they only require collateral
For the cap.
because you are a member, you are not an owner. So you're a member, not an owner. With Pareto does capital, which is basically you become an owner so that again, if that's the concern, that you become an owner so that, but they don't require that you put up any collateral. Not that it wouldn't be needed, they just don't require that you set it aside.
Okay.
So
Does that answer your question, Dan?
I think so. I mean, I think the distinction of us being a member versus an owner is a significant one.
So for,
In other words, we can't be an owner.
yeah, if you're saying you can't be an owner, then probably Pareto's off the
That's right.
table. If you want me to, I could make a call and just verify. But I
That's
don't
okay
know.
because Berkeley's cheaper.
correct,
I
so
heard-
Berkeley would be the one that clearly meets Dan's concern requirement. Their upfront money would be the 856, 983, and then I did just for, and that'd be a one-time money out the door.
Over there, and then what, we have the money, what is it, how much?
856,000 is an upfront cost.
That's an upfront.
Well,
cost.
no,
Did we ever-
I miss,
He didn't say.
that's the total of what we,
That's the total risk.
total risk.
Correct.
So if right now, we're switching horses in the middle of the ditch here in the creek. And
Well,
so, and you're telling us it's not gonna cost us anything to do that if we make. the
Well,
decision today.
With captive resources, we would be sending out 42,488.
So we have to find.
We would not have.
I wanna know what it is for Berkeley.
We would not spend the 42,488. We
Right.
wouldn't have to pay that. Our max risk,
So there would be, so rates do not include the collateral. We would have to put up the.
That's why I wanna know on 16th what. we
Yeah,
just
let me
have to
pull that.
find 16,000, 60,000 and nothing.
It's going to be similar. So they're all similar. So with captive resources, you have two numbers totaling 40. With Berkeley, you only have one, let's call it 30. With Pareto, you only have one, let's call it 25. Like they're all going to be
Okay, I get it.
similar.
So when are we gonna know? If
If
we pick Berkeley, what do we gotta do?
Yeah, I will pull it up and tell you.
Like Jeopardy.
I will tell you, being 100% open, no, I haven't had any group dive into it to the point of even knowing that Berkeley has something domiciled.
Well, I don't care, I get it.
No,
it's a compliment to you.
Okay.
Okay, so it's actually a little bit higher. So it's 20% of the spec and ag premium that's up above, so the 431, 6,000. It's 20%. So some groups are 10, some are 15. So it comes to 58,455. So it's 58. That's not a cost, that's being held. So it's,
I get it, we got paid.
yeah, it's 58,455 is what it shows.
And that is refundable, correct?
Yeah, and it says which is posted in the form of cash or letter of credit.
That's the one time.
So
Then
what do you
that-
mean by letter of credit? So we can hold it and we just show that we have it?
We're gonna be good for it somehow downstream.
Yeah, I'd have to get with them on, do they accept a bank letter, or how does it work? Basically saying like, hey, we have a.
So I'd rather that money stay in our account and earn interest.
Oh, yeah, that's an option, sure.
Yeah, that's an option.
So
Sounds like
Meaning that
it-
it just goes on. the books if
Captive,
we stay-
letter of credit.
correct. Captive resources allowed, one can be a letter of credit, the other has to be funded. The one that had to be funded is the one that drew a red flag.
The capital.
Correct, the capital. So the collateral could have been a line of credit. I'd have to go back to see if Vernon did a line of credit or if it was paid or,
He hasn't sent any of them off yet.
Yeah, neither one were sent off.
oh, okay.
So
Well,
we couldn't
yes.
make the payments, so.
Okay, so if you wanted to go with Berkeley, then we would need direction from you to engage Berkeley and have Brian engage Berkeley to set them up as our captive.
And they can do it, or, I mean, if they slip into the 16th, are we dead?
So it's us starting the process of
As
getting.
long as it started, it doesn't.
Correct, getting
You can
the
keep
wheels
playing with
moving,
it.
correct. And it's the decision and has to be by the 15th. Don't quote me on this, but what my understanding is that we have till the end of the month to get paperwork.
Okay.
And that's the same, I did confirm with Captive Resources that we have till the end of the month to undo paperwork. But let's not get to that point, right? Like, we don't want to be doing it on the 31st and then, emails down or,
Start over.
yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Question?
No, I don't have it.
Luke's?
No. No, thanks for looking back into that.
And
So-
so then Brian and his folks with yeoman's work in a week's time, so thank you.
Actually, it was 2 weeks.
2 weeks' time.
We're calling it 2 weeks and a
You told
couple
us
of
the
days.
day, but-
Well, it was a day to get HCC's response, which we did have for your last meeting. We did have the response that HCC said no, which was option 2. Being 100% open, this is like sleepless nights of what is the county gonna do and making sure that we have everything and making sure that you feel comfortable. Asked 100 more questions than we normally do. And again, that's where it's at, so.
The way we
I don't know if it's a worry or not, but they only have one city and county government deal. If that means they handle it differently or not, or if there's any.
I think most,
Riskier to have counties and.
I'd have to get more details on what does it mean as, our capital buying in and what does that mean? Rather than being a member, Berkeley's a member versus a buy-in.
Okay.
But I think that, when you look at it, the reason why Pareto has more is to be able to say everything is onshore. That's like that's the pro of them. And Pareto is larger as well. So when you say, well, they have 17, it's also a lot bigger. So, maybe percentage wise, but
And I want to come back to Dan's point. I think Berkeley checks all the boxes and keeps us where we need to be.
Okay.
their banking is on the, again, I know that you guys are gonna vote and make decisions, but Berkeley's banking. And if you do a line of credit, you do a line of credit. But if you do cash, it is held in a US bank. So that the downside of Berkeley is they do have some domiciled offshore. And so again, just don't want anything to pop up that people aren't comfortable about. If you want all US, that's Pareto.
Well, plus there's no capital and no collateral with Pareto.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is collateral, the 58. So Berkeley has it says rates above do not include the collateral. That's the 58,000 that I just told you. It's
No
that,
capital.
and then no capital required.
All right.
Yeah, so there's two things. There's capital and collateral. Pareto, you have both, or excuse me, captive resource, you have both, collateral and capital. Berkeley, you only have collateral. Pareto, you only have capital. So one has both, one is one and not the other, one's one, not the other, which is the different setup of the reason why Berkeley doesn't have capital is it's not, you're not owning it.
Yeah.
Pareto has capital. They don't require collateral, not because it's not required. It's just they don't require that you set it aside. So
Dan, are you okay with how he's explained Berkeley?
Yeah, I think I am.
Okay. All right.
No issues, right, Dan?
Sorry, Commissioner, I didn't hear you.
No issue.
No issue, no issue.
So it's up to the board.
So I think Berkeley is, got a couple pros. I like the 12 and the 15, so then we can get our money, we can set our budget, and it's good for January 1st.
Right.
No capital required, and if we could do a line of credit on the collateral, so we hold the cash and so somebody else hold the cash.
Right.
Right.
Like
So
I
we-
hold our money before we have to pay it to Uncle Sam, pay him 2 cents.
being open, you're hitting the nail on the head. There's some pros and some cons.
And the
And
rates aren't gonna change for this year.
2026, right?
That's
Yes,
12.
we do it again, deadline. We do have to get things submitted and
And
sign
that-
off on the things and just disclose that we don't know it, like, yes.
And that marries up with our budgeting
Correct.
process. So,
Yeah, it makes Vernon and everybody else's life.
Okay, give me a motion.
Not that I direct you, but I think that I think the motion has to be, it has to address not going with captive resources and moving to company A or B. But I don't think it's, hey, let's go with Berkeley. I think the motion has to be we will amend going with, yes, we are no longer moving forward with captive resources so that we can have that both addressed in one motion.
we do that.
Yeah. Okay, I move that we, you said amend the current, with,
Yeah, we amend the current motion to go with captive resources. To no longer go with captive resources.
so I'll move the, go and amend the, motion to not go with capital improve,
Captive
captive
resources.
resources. And go and start with Berkeley.
I'll second that.
Yes. Bring in Berkeley.
And if we do want to put not to put words in your mouth, but if we do want to put employees' mind at ease, we can say with no change to the setup or benefits to the
Well, that
employees.
was part of the.
Yeah,
Part of the.
Deliberation.
Right.
Cool.
You need anything? Kelly? You good?
Okay, any other discussion here? None here from me, anybody out here? Jim Gilbert.
This is a question for you guys and mostly for Dan. As I understand the whole discussion, there's actually not a choice. That you have to go with Berkeley because the others are purchasing stock in a corporation.
We could go with AccuRisk Solutions, which is the standalone carrier. We discussed this a little bit.
Oh, the $1 million one?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that you sort of threw away.
Yeah.
But
It's almost a
of
no-
the
Common sense.
non-throwaway choices, there actually isn't a choice.
Well,
according to Colorado state law, you have to go. with it.
no, I think Pareto met it, didn't it?
No, because we'd have to,
Oh, that's right.
We'd have to get,
Yeah.
we'd have to get
Yeah,
back.
so I'm understanding it.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, any other questions, concerns? Anything online? Okay, if I'll call for the vote, all in favor of the motion as stated, say aye, Paul.
I
Lucas,
I,
and aye.
put it to bed.
thank you, Brian, for sleepless nights.
Yeah, we will get
Another
this,
option.
we will get this moving with Bob today so that we can have it.
I know that's sure.
Of this.
Bob, can you send me a copy of? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you.
So I do have one thing to add. I was wrong. That was not a workshop. It wasn't posted. That was very last minute due to not being able to make that capital and that collateral payment. So we held,
That's right,
we held an emergency meeting to go through that and get Brian working on options for us. So I just, Dan was in that meeting. Dan, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I was in that meeting. It was, I think it was,
We stayed there.
it was overseeing the day-to-day operations of a personnel matter, which doesn't require notice. We didn't make any decisions at the meeting. And it was really about getting some legal advice and getting some technical advice as to what was going on.
No, that's.
Okay, thank you. But otherwise, I apologize to the citizens for that
Yeah.
error.
Okay, we'll move forward into new business then, and first up would be Lucas again with accounts payable.
All right, I'm gonna go through the AP amounts that were over 5,000, county commissioners to UACOG upper area, upper arc. Slipping my mind now, Council of Governments. And it's our 2026 dues of just under $8,000. Planning and zoning to SIPA. It's their 2026 dues for 23,000. This is where they put this is where they're scanning all their information into. And it's the kind of the website that hosts all the information. County Assessor, Schneider Geospatial LLC website and mapping host of just under 7,300. District Attorney, Office of the DA, it's for the February budget of $12,608.49. Emergency Dispatch, Combined Regional Communications. First quarter is just under 51,000. County Patrol to Lexipol, it's the Sheriff's 2026 Policy Manual in the amount of just under 6,400. County Jail, Fremont County Sheriff's Department for the December inmate housing of $12,705. Road and Bridge, for Road and Bridge supplies, $6,345.92. Road and Bridge to Cipher Enterprises LLC for naturals material in the amount of 10,000. IT to PDS or third-party IT contractor for computers in the amount of $10,540. Airport fuel for I believe this was the 100 low lead in the amount of $18,330. So our total was $249,623.03.
This time what we got is correct.
Yes.
All right, I'll move that we accept the AP report as presented for $249,623.03.
I'll second that.
Okay, any other discussion? Anybody? Online? Okay, I'll call for that vote. All in favor of the AP report as presented, and that's for day ending 1/14, right?
Yes.
January 14. Okay. All in favor, say aye. Paul,
Aye.
Lucas.
Aye.
Kanda, aye.
Very good.
Thank you, Lucas.
You're welcome.
Okay, next down the chute would be the IQ SWEB system terms and conditions signature. So what do we got on that? Okay, Colorado IQS web terms and conditions is what it is. And it needed a signature and, Caitlin, how did you get this? Is it,
It's Robin.
It's wrong.
it's Robin, it came from Robin, I got the email.
An email from Robin explaining what it is and a copy of the contract.
Right.
Yeah, in the Custer County, it's late dated for January the 7th, and it needed, it was done because it was needed.
Well, no. There was misunderstanding between Robin and I. The
Ah,
copy
I
that
remember.
Kelly has to sign has the updated date for today.
okay,
The one that's in your packet
that's not,
was from yesterday
Okay.
morning,
all right,
but the one that is to be signed is updated.
all right.
So I read it over, this keeps it active, correct? Is that what? Okay. It's in the email thing.
Yeah, keep it going, okay. All right, so we're just catching up with what we.
We're
Yeah.
just processing
Right.
the. Keep it going. Yes.
Okay, the incident qualification system, IQS, is the state of Colorado qualification system that will allow Custer County personnel to respond to a fire if they are qualified. William applied for an account last year and is building credentials and would like to keep the account active. I agree. At this time, there are no qualified volunteer or paid staff in the system. There is no charge to have an account with the Division of Fire Prevention and Control. So that's fine. All right,
Just continue.
okay, got a motion.
I'll
Anybody
make a
break?
motion to renew the IQS web system terms and conditions
I'll second.
contract.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded by Paul.
Yep.
To accept the contract and continuation of the qualification system.
Right.
Okay, any other discussion, anybody? Good. All right, I'll call for that vote. All in favor, say aye. Lucas.
Aye.
Lois on that.
Kanda, aye. Okay, next.
Yeah.
All right, Vince, you're up. Consideration of purchasing the water truck you brought forward to us, and we've done some research.
Our trouble on the time. Make mud. Right?
Yep, make mud. Okay, this is the purchase of a brand new Peterbilt water truck from Custom Trucks in Denver. I did some looking for used water trucks. The ones I've found are a lot cheaper than this 178 40268. What I found when I investigated the used water trucks, they were older models in the 90s, 2000s. What scares me being around equipment all my life is when I see on the documentation of the used water trucks, I didn't bring a copy of it, but they've done a bottom side overhaul on the used water trucks instead of a top side overhaul, and they didn't do a thing on the top engine. And that kind of scares me when they don't do a complete overhaul.
Yeah.
And then when you see a new, the used water trucks I have found are converted tractors that pulls trailers, and they have a 14,500 pound front axle, and we can't scale the 4,000 gallon water. This truck here is got 20,000 pound front axles and 41,000 rear axles, so we're legal to haul 4,000 gallons of water on our county roads and state highways.
Good.
Good news is the money you got is what?
the money we have to buy purchases, we got insurance money, which if you guys finalize this, I will get with Vernon and crunch the numbers and we'll have a total on the insurance
Like
money.
nine.
for-
So roughly, we're gonna have pony up 80 grand or something.
Yeah, 81,402.88.
Okay, and then how are we gonna do that?
I've got some in, Road and Bridges
You
Fund.
can do it now and you can move forward
Yeah.
with what you've got and then, work with what downstream needs are that might be able to be replaced with capital improvement or something else. What do you think?
Then we can add.
Capital's where it needs, all equipment needs to come out of
Yeah.
capital somehow, some way, so that's what,
So that we can cover and then worry about how we move roof repair if something else got in the way or something.
yeah,
So
so
right now I got enough to handle.
it would have to come out of cash reserve.
And then I'm saving the county money by, it comes with a hose reel. The hose reel on the new truck is in the wrong spot. We can relocate the hose reel in-house. It'll save.
This truck has got.
Yeah, it's got a hose reel on it, but it's on the back of the truck and Dan doesn't want the hose reel on the back of the truck. He wants it on the frame like our other trucks. This truck does not come with a spray bar, but we can take the spray bar off the wrecked truck and mount it on the new truck, which will save money. This new truck doesn't come with a light bar, the yellow light. We have light bars that was donated to us from the sheriff's department, which we can mount the lights on the cab in-house and save
And they
money.
can actually be seen better.
Yes,
Right, because it's not a single unit
yes,
stroke.
Our guys are high intensity. Okay, what else?
that's it.
Thoughts?
So. Dan, I'd like to, if we decide to go forward with this, I'd like to put all equipment purchases in resolutions this year. They really need to be put into a resolution. It's easier to track them through resolutions than it is going through meeting minutes. And that's kind of what you and I talked about, Dan, I don't know, a month or two ago.
Yeah, I can do that for the next meeting.
Okay.
We could do that, approve it and then go with the resolution next week.
Yep.
You're not gonna lose anything. Is this on, you got a hold on this one?
Yes, he wanted me to sign it and I told him I ain't signing nothing to sale.
That's the right answer.
Yeah.
I'm not signing anything.
I'll tell him that, it's going through the process.
Yeah, that's what I told him when I spoke to him Monday or Tuesday. I have to meet with the commissioners and they have to prove it and it's a slow process. It's not overnight.
Okay, so then I would we move forward with the, resolution to buy this truck
I'll second
and, and work with, it, next week, the resolution.
Okay.
Moved and seconded.
Yep. Got that, Phil? Okay.
I've noticed something on this contract. It says, the name it appears on the title, Custer County Road and Bridge. It can't be that way.
No, it's
It
Custer-
just has to be Custer County.
Right.
And I
Okay,
don't know that we
then.
need a motion to.
Well,
move
here's
ahead
why I
with the
did it.
resolution.
Here's why I did it, Dave. It's that way, it's in minutes, it's legal, and meaning that we're moving forward and Vince can use that and say, hey, we're serious about it, we're gonna purchase it. Looking to purchase it. We'll just leave it that way. Okay, all in favor of the motion, then, well, we're gonna have a discussion further. All in favor of the motion then to proceed with the sale or the purchase, say aye, Lucas.
Aye.
Paul,
Aye,
and aye.
that is a resolution.
No,
No, I mean,
we're
we're
gonna,
asking for
right,
it.
right.
We didn't say that.
we're gonna move forward with the purchase process. All right. Thanks, Vince. Get out of here
All right.
and get roads muddy somewhere.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Buddy Roads.
Okay, looks like Deborah is
Good morning.
Good morning, Deb.
and
First off, I do want to remind you about the Colorado Scenic and Historic Byway exhibit. It's opening this Friday. A reception is this Saturday, 1 to 4. We are getting statewide publicity. We're getting exposure on Colorado Public Radio, articles in the paper, so we hope to have a lot of visitors as well as locals come and enjoy the show. It is quite impressive. Dale Coleman, who got a preview of the show, I love his quote. He said, "It makes me want to fill up my gas tank and go see all those places." So, very good. So the reason I'm here is because I am presenting a proposal to the town of Westcliff, the town of Silver Cliff, the county, as well as tourism, with regard to a county-wide business directory. Can you show what I sent you?
Which one do you want?
First show the bulletin board, the photo of the bulletin board.
Yes, yeah.
So all around town where there are bulletin boards, this is what they look like. You know, just masses of business cards all over and posters. And then in the summer, it's even a little bit more crazy because of all the events that are going on. And then could you show the spreadsheet that I had? Okay, so I have gone through all your directories. And so Westcliff, at the moment, they have a total of 119, but there are businesses that don't exist anymore. Silver Cliff has 32, no categories. I have to say, I am most amused at Custer County's business directory. You have at least 28 businesses that don't exist anymore and that haven't existed for quite a while. Like, when did Bell's Diner leave town? And you know, Lynn Brannon, he's been dead for years. So what I am proposing is that all four entities, being the town of Silver Cliff, the town of Westcliff, Custer County, and tourism. Now, I will say that tourism, scroll down to the bottom. Tourism has 380 listings. And the reason this came up is because tourism is redoing our website. And over time, our directory went beyond lodging, where to eat, where to shop, where the art galleries are. Just in the past 2 weeks, tourism got a request. There's a way that people can add their business. We got a request to add Colorado Tub Repair, Wet Mountain Automotive, and Crestone Cabinetry, which has nothing to do with tourism. So, but the problem is with Westcliff, you can only be on that directory if you're in Westcliff. You can only be on the Silver Cliff directory if you're in Silver Cliff. And then Custer County, as you know, your website needs a little work and updating. So I've done some research, and there is a company called Glue Up, and they are basically a association management software. So this is something that chambers use. Now, granted, chambers are member dues to get on a chamber website. Glue Up has been around for 13 years. They have over 2,000 partnerships. I've had various conversations with them. And so I would like to propose that all three entities think about what would be convenient for citizens, as well as all the small businesses here that come and go. And one of the challenges with any of the directories, including tourism, is that when businesses go out of business, they don't let you know. And then you have businesses that no longer exist, staying on the directory. This particular format it is the responsibility of the business owner to put their listing on this directory. And then 1 year later, they get an email that verifies whether they're still in business. So that would keep things clean. There are many other things that could develop from this, but I am only focused right now on creating something that would benefit the community and benefit the businesses as far as having one place to go to. Currently, tourism has a URL called Find It in Custer County. And so that would be the URL that we would use. And then we would also do, press release, marketing, put up flyers to let businesses know that they are responsible for getting their business on, and it would be in categories, so it's easy to find. It's also alphabetical. You can also actually create, like, if Westcliff and Silvercliff still wanted to know what businesses are there, you can do that category. So. Any questions so far? Yes, Paul?
A lot of people have said, well, I bring up Custer County and it goes to two other states and everything. Is there anything that can direct it more to Colorado?
Well, that's the problem with Custer County being 7 different states.
You have to put in.
That's state called
Colorado.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I think if you put in Custer County, you get South Dakota first.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, yeah.
I just had people bring that up. Like,
Yeah, no, well, yeah, you have to verify the state because there are 7 states that have Custer County, which could be a good argument for changing the name of Custer County. Sangre County, that's what I think.
Just a concern.
Okay. So, really, this is forward thinking. And, we don't have a phone book anymore. And, anyone that I have mentioned this to thinks it's a great idea. Because a new person coming in, if they're looking for something, they don't know where the business is to, like, oh, I'm gonna go to the Silvercliff directory, I'm gonna go to the Westcliff directory. And it's just kind of a little bit of a cluster. And so I think that the businesses would benefit, and really all those bulletin boards filled with business cards. I don't know how you find anything. So the way this works, and I did do research into different directories, and there are some that are cheaper, but they don't have the same track record. And the admin for the county, the town admins would all have access to the back room. So it's not like any one person is controlling it, but every entity would be able to get in. Now, there is a option that you can look down the road where the businesses could pay to be a sponsored ad, which means that their business would be on the top. So there is a way to maybe generate some income, but let's even see if this, can be developed. The cost of this program, first off, there is a setup fee of $500. And because tourism at the moment has the most entries, even though, like I said, many of them are not tourism related, I feel that tourism could easily be responsible for that setup fee of $500. Then each year there is an annual fee. The first year is $2,500. The second year is $2,575, so just a slight increase. And then, so it goes up a little bit each year. The third year is $2,652. If you divide that by 4, which is Westcliff, Silvercliff, Custer County, and tourism, the annual amount to be paid by each entity, first year 625, second year 643, third year 663. At this time, I've only made a presentation to Silvercliff, and they did bring prorating up, and Lucas says they, kind of bring that up a lot because they're smaller, which is true. They only have 32 compared to Westcliff 119. But I kind of said to them, it gets complicated. Prorating is complicated. Let's just all work together and, you know, provide this business directory for the businesses as well as the citizens. In making my presentation to Silver Cliff last week, I did not force them to make any decision because I had to talk to the county. I'm talking to the town of West Cliff next week, but the town manager there is all gung ho, because, you know, maintaining a directory takes time, which is money. And the main thing is that I just think people would appreciate how to find services easily. So that's the whole point of what I want to present to all of you, and that it's something that you're all in because it's a good way to go forward with the businesses that are here as well as the citizens.
So it's all like electronic, there's no.
It's basically a digital phone
Right.
book.
And so people without a, come to town, yeah, the creek, really, they said without a cell phone, everybody has a cell phone, though, just about.
Pretty much. And then we would also, so in building this, not that I'm gonna look at all the entries we have, but, you know, with social media, just love social media. With social media and press and posters around town, to let all the businesses know that it exists, because first we have to build it. So we build it, and then once it's built, well, then we let the community know, you know, find it in Custer County, like that's the website, finditincUstercounty.com. And like I said, there'll be categories, you know, I need to get my car fixed, I need to take my animal somewhere, you know, tub repair, automotive, cabinetry, building trades. It would just make it easier for everyone. And around town, we would keep flyers so everyone knows. So instead of having, you know, all these, you know, messy business cards, you have a flyer that this is how you find what you're looking for.
So if you think about it, Custer County, most of these old ones in here are actually in cities of West Cliff and Silver Cliff.
You know, I didn't spend a lot of time to figure out where they were.
Well, all my point is we're probably gonna have a lot less than the others, but I agree with fair share as being this.
Well, but the three that I just got, County Road 265, County Road 241.
So my point there is it's, I like that. I mean, the county's got businesses that we have out in the county, but not a lot, but there are.
Yeah.
And, but I still worry about people coming in here to hike and ride their bikes in here, and they don't, some of them don't have phones, maybe, it would be neat for some way to come in and tap into a computer system.
Go to the library.
Or library or
Yeah.
something, or put it in there, advertise that.
I think the library is really the only place where there's public
Public
access.
access.
Yeah.
Unless they can come into your office and access your computer.
They can.
I'm all for that, cause right next to Lucas. Okay.
So like I said, I made a presentation to Silver Cliff, I'm making a presentation to West Cliff. And it has to be all in.
But who maintains it then?
Well, so to get it started, I'm going to work with Glue Up to develop the template. And then the notice goes out to businesses, and then businesses add their business. So everyone is responsible for adding their business. The same way that it works with our tourism website, on the bottom it says add your business. Then, as I mentioned, the town managers of Silver Cliff, West Cliff, the county, and tourism would be able to access the back room. So it's not really something that has to be maintained, because the business puts in their entry and it shows up.
My view though is that like Yellow Pages.
Yeah.
They didn't have admins do those. What they did is if you didn't pay for your ad, you got it pulled out.
Right, but we're not charging anyone for this.
I should,
Township.
Well,
maybe that's
if
a-
somebody wants to monitor
Yeah,
that,
business,
sure.
Seems to me, that's gotta be a way of doing that. That's a service.
Well, but we don't have a
Right.
chamber. This
Well, I
would,
know, that's a.
this would normally be a chamber thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we don't have any business organization. So as I mentioned though,
Maybe there's a way to start that.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll say good luck on that. The thing is, if we want to try to generate some income to pay for it, then you can have businesses pay, I don't know what the amount is, and then they're sponsored, and then they show up on the top.
Well, that's fine, but I think you can still do the same. You got three entities that can control their input, right?
Yes,
And that entity could say, if you're gonna be on the Custer County web, page, or whatever you wanna call it, then you're gonna pay for the ad.
I don't think you'll get people
Pay.
participating. I think if
If it's 10 cents to get up.
well,
20 bucks.
okay, oh, let's put time into 10 cents.
No, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know,
Cause the
but
business, all you'd have to do is you'd go to the county and give, I don't know how you'd handle it, but somebody has said, I'm gonna be in your thing, here's $5 to get on it. And then if they don't, and then
Like a
there's a
membership.
bill sent to them maybe every year, says you wanna re-up or not, and if you don't, then they get pulled off.
I was trying to make it easy and offer something to all the small businesses. Well, this is, yes, start, make it easy, offering something, here is something that the town of Westcliff, the town of Silvercliff, the county and tourism is offering to all the businesses in the county.
Cause what I wanna avoid, Debbie, is the same thing you just pointed out, if Bell's Diner hadn't been around for 15.
All right, you didn't listen to me earlier.
I know you said we were gonna clean it up.
No. The way this platform works is so a business enters their information and gets on the thing on January 15th, 2026. In January 15th, 2027, they are automatically sent a renewal email. If they don't reply, it goes away.
Okay.
It gets removed.
It's cleaned up.
Yeah, so that, that's a
I
big
thought it was
problem.
the business you said had to redo it, or tell you that it's not gonna do it.
So it's probably all automated where the email is sent out. Now, granted, that email could end up in a junk folder,
Sure, it could be.
Yeah.
fine.
but everyone needs to look in their junk folder every once in a while. So that's the way it stays current. And then the other thing is that, like, for right now, Westcliff just shows name, address, phone. I think Silvercliff does the same. I think you do the same. It's only on the tourism website where we have a logo and you could have your website, your email, your phone number, description. This directory is more like that. Maybe not as pretty as the current tourism directory, but more information where, like, a business can show their logo and can say, this is how great we are. This is where you can find us on Facebook.
Okay.
More information.
Got another question.
Yes.
Why couldn't tourism take the whole thing on and pay it all? The $2,000, and if tourism, you're bringing people in, it's for the good of the county.
Well,
You know,
okay.
Maybe we could make it.
I would be more than happy for tourism to take on that. Our monies are supposed to be spent towards marketing. And so, you could label this as marketing. I will
Doesn't
also,
seem to be too expensive.
no, it's not too expensive, and tourism does have the money.
We sure don't, we don't have a lot out.
Could,
Make that happen.
I wouldn't mind paying for the first year, cleaning up our businesses
Yeah.
and starting a new directory and getting as many of the businesses as possible to really get on there. After that, as long as we maintain around 250 businesses at $10 a year, which is very cheap to get on a
Yeah.
place where I could go, I'm looking for a plumber, I'm looking for a house cleaner, I'm looking for a flower shop or
Yeah,
whatever it
It's
may
pretty
be.
Yeah.
I can
You
go
know
in
we
there.
only have one flower shop, right?
But it's hard to find. All we see are donuts.
Well, so, Lucas comes to our tourism meetings and he's well aware of where we stand. And, right now, tourism does have a very healthy fund.
Yep.
And as long as there's no one who would say that we are misspending our
That's my
funds.
point. I think we can make a case that it's not.
Right.
Okay, okay. Well, with your blessing then, Bill, I
My
mean,
blessing.
well, it. For the
I'd like
first
to give
year,
this more thought.
Yeah.
I think that having one directory that all, basically Custer County and the two towns are really part of,
yes,
because this is businesses.
yes,
Businesses, yeah, some of them are relying upon tourism dollars, but a plumber isn't.
no,
Right.
Or some of those others, so.
But the beauty of it is, we care about people coming in here and they see there are services and they might wanna buy a house up here, and they wanna move here, they might wanna whatever.
well, and
I
that's
guess
so,
that's why
but
it's
that's
a
what
big
happened with the
piece.
tourism directory, so, we had. Where to eat, where to shop, where to stay, and the art galleries. And then somewhere it was after we lost Chamber, so we lost Chamber 5 years ago. And so, like, right now, if you go on our website. We have how many, let's see. Where's I can't find it. Like, 49 building trades is on the tourism directory. It doesn't really belong there, but there's really no place else for it to go, so that's what
There's
happened.
nothing to say, says it, these businesses or somebody can't put up a little bulletin board to stick a card on.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Ace has got a big A-frame
Yeah.
there.
Okay,
No, I think consolidating everything into one place and that it's up to the business to go and put,
to Kansas City.
Lucas's flower shop on there is.
Are you opening a new business?
No,
Yeah, so I still have to make a presentation to Westcliff, and like I said, I made a presentation to Silvercliff. Personally, tourism would be happy to, get it started, because I think. Once you build it, that many people will get on it, there's cleaning services, and there's so many little businesses, we're not corporate. We're the one-man shop type of person or community.
Yeah, it's
So
hard for you to go in and meet bulletin board and find a cleaning lady.
absolutely,
Barely.
absolutely,
And they-
because it's
and they clean
underneath
them.
the flyer that was put on. Yeah,
Have you gotten input from businesses themselves?
yes, everyone thinks it's a great idea. There is no one that has said, well, that's a dumb idea.
I just.
No, everyone thinks it's just a smart idea, and it's forward thinking. We don't have the phone book anymore, and even, the little phone book that I think you can pick up at Lowe's, I don't even think it has Westcliff, Silvercliff in it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And then you look at the welders and everything, I've had people say, well, I need a welder, and put it on Facebook,
Right,
and everybody starts telling them.
Right.
All
Go
over.
see.
right. See, so now if somebody asks for something, we can say, go find it in custercounty.com.
Okay, so what do you propose, Louis? You wanna, I think you ought to just go tell Paul, he owns the whole thing. Winky.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I don't think he's running again for mayor, so I'd have to catch him soon.
Make his beard trim.
I think we ought to look into.
I think we need to look further into this. I think it's a great
It's a
idea.
good idea.
And I'd like to look in more into the statute over tourism on this, so.
Yeah, well, they broadened it out to where you about making.
Well, not the statute, but the bill. So-
Would it be helpful to have a Zoom meeting with the company? And I would put the admins on it so everyone understands how it works. Would that be helpful in doing your research?
Yeah, that might not be such a bad idea.
That way
Even
they
if
get their
it was
input.
just you and I that sat down with it, or, I don't know, maybe.
Okay, because I was gonna follow up with the sales rep after I made a presentation to Westcliff on the
Well,
20th.
make it a joint meeting with the mayors and us and just.
Yeah.
Could do that.
Yeah,
Yeah. I guess the challenge would be finding a time that works for everyone.
No, that's not the challenge. It's up to Caitlin and the town hall admins.
Oh.
It's a challenge.
That's easy.
It's a challenge. No matter who it is,
Yeah.
organizing it, it's a challenge.
Well, and so one thing that was brought up at the Silver Cliff meeting, and I mentioned this to Lucas yesterday, Silver Cliff did mention about the prorating, but that would just be so
Yeah.
complicated to figure out.
I'll tell you,
Yeah, it's then after the fact. So do you take the average for the year? or-
Right, right,
That's
right,
just-
Yeah.
right.
And the bottom line is they got the businesses too, and.
Yes, yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
So, I think this just makes it easier. And like I said, the whole reason this came up is because tourism is redoing our website and we do not want to have the business directory with the builders and the car people. We want to focus strictly on where to eat, where to shop, where to stay, and the art galleries.
Yeah, it'd be really nice to separate things to. where
Yes,
They, so
Yes.
you're not going into tourism and, okay, now where's the business, right?
Right.
And you might not even think to go to the Custer County Tourism Board to look up the businesses, because you wouldn't do that in any other.
Right.
Community.
right,
I'm
right.
surprised we.
Yeah, I'm not going there.
So,
Well, we have it on there because there were so many businesses
Well, I'm
that
surprised we
had no
have
place to go. Oh, well,
Nobody's looking at it.
no, and then the link would be on everyone's website. So it would be on Silver Cliff, West Cliff, Custer County and Tourism. This is where you go to find all the businesses in
Yeah.
town. Yeah,
I hate getting, I want donut, and sometimes when you Google that, you get Custer County and Wyoming.
wildflower donuts, Bill.
That-
Have you had their burrito? It's really good.
Wildflower, you don't say the full name, you get Wildflower New York City.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Any other questions for me?
Nope.
And how would you like me to follow up? Try to set up something?
Do Winky says, and then set up a joint meeting.
Yeah, set up that.
Okay, so I'm making my presentation to Westcliff next Tuesday, so after that, I'll figure something out. And it's not like an immediate rush, but the tourism website does hope to be new by spring.
Okay.
So that's basically the timeline that I'm working with,
good.
okay?
Very good.
Okay, thank you. Always a pleasure, gentlemen.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, that's the bottom of the line. Any additional business items here?
What? Okay. Are you okay, or do you guys wanna do I wanna bring this up, a no hunting on county ground resolution, do we want Dan to put something
We're gonna
together?
do that. I thought that was something that, Bob put on.
Yeah,
Put the
Bob had it
resolution
correct.
together already.
Okay,
It'll be part of that already.
okay,
That'd be easy.
didn't know, so, good,
And,
I was
for us
more
to
into
consider
that.
this, because it's been the other policy.
Okay.
I got more input for that also.
oh, okay.
And what else? Jim?
I don't have anything else.
You said you.
The next week is supposed to be staff report week. Right now, we have 14 items of business, not including our staff. reports. One being a presentation, so
We could do,
two-part question, do we want to
do
do written staff reports for this month? And alleviate in-person reports,
What's a presentation?
so that's the second part of my question is. The Upper Ark Water
Oh.
Conservancy District
That's-
presentation.
Yeah, that's the
You guys said
water,
it was gonna be on the 21st. I wanted to make sure that it was still.
still has to be on. That was, Ray Felt coming over
Okay.
to talk about the county water.
So do we just
For the
get
road.
written?
That's not gonna take too much time.
Okay,
Oh, but we still have 14.
We still have
items.
the other.
Yeah, 14 items plus presentation plus report.
takes what it takes. Fortunately, or fortunately,
So
it's our job.
I need to let the department heads know if we're doing in-person reports or not.
Now, if there's already 14 items on there.
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah.
Yep. Anything,
No.
you know, their business, any public comments? Let me see, Jim,
Which one?
you're up.
My comment sort of stems from Mr. Epps' comment regarding the child welfare funding. And it's a kind of a convoluted, comment, but suffice it to say, it was clear that Mr. Ebb didn't understand the politics of the child funding issues, which is retribution to blue states with using federal government funding. If you pay attention to the national news, you know that's true. So in addition to looking at what's going on nationally, you'll also notice that there is a very pronounced effort on the part of immigration services to trample the rights of persons within the United States. And that is accelerating and getting worse. It's only a matter of time until those actions migrate from where they're currently happening to a significant presence within the state of Colorado, because as with the child care funding, Colorado is on the government's hit list. So at some point, this, in my opinion, unconstitutional approach to immigration enforcement will migrate into Colorado. And that has the potential to migrate to all parts of Colorado. Unfortunately, because of the nature of the government within this county, we have a resolution that says we will cooperate with federal government for the purposes of immigration enforcement. I would strongly suggest that this commission consider revising that resolution to say we will cooperate with lawful enforcement of immigration laws. Because right now, that is not happening. Immigration laws are not lawfully being enforced. The Fourth Amendment's being violated. The First Amendment's being violated. I mean, it's ridiculous. So on the potential, albeit very small, that we're impacted, again, I ask you to think about revising that resolution to ensure that we protect our citizens by cooperating with lawful enforcement and not unlawful enforcement.
Okay. Good, thanks for the comment. Any more? Jim?
Well, I was gonna comment on how the road and bridge is out there working. The area that they did a week or so ago, and I'm not seeing much improvement in the stuff there, so I don't know what they're doing.
Oh, and on which road?
This is on Oak Creek Grade.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a water truck out there this morning either. Just out there pushing the gravel they put down. Again.
Vince, we'll have to find you. Thanks for the heads up. Oh, on all of Oak Creek or just your turn?
They haven't quite reached out to my turn.
Okay.
Oak Creek kind of unique with the type of material there.
Got it in different places, it's just.
Yeah,
No, they hauled in some gravel and stuff.
yeah.
Problem is, they need to haul in some mag chloride, and when
Yeah,
you
but
put it down, can't put it down yet.
When you're hauling material now, it's binding to the current material is where the problem sits.
It need to be wet, and it's too hard, it's too cold to do that. Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Well, thanks.
Which might be good, because there's places there it probably does need to be a little wider.
It definitely does.
yeah.
Okay,
If they're out there doing that, it'd sure be nice if they would catch County Road 254 and 255 where they come together, because off the one, they've got a big dip coming off of it, you know.
That was a mistake they made.
And it goes
Yeah.
flat.
All right, thanks.
I know of it every day.
It's his turn.
So I guess a good thing of that, it discourages people from not paying any attention to the stop sign. Cause it's a little rough going over it.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Anything else online?
No.
Okay, I guess that we can then therefore I will declare this meeting adjourned at 10:40. Thank you, everybody.
I vote for it. We'll have to vote.